Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Spence.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Gali's here. What's the matter, Spence?
Nothing. I'm just waking up.
Oh, and Gali's here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Yep.
Our number, 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by VMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. Nick is having a yearly get-together with his friends, so he's not going to be here this morning.
He should have just brought his friends with him.
Well, I think they're at his house. It's like a,
that means
a
they're all
yearly
sleeping.
thing that they do.
Yeah, they're still asleep.
So it's nice. Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, so what's going on?
I was just thinking about how I've been a father for 42 years.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah. Good for you.
By today's standards, I was extremely young.
Yeah. And a steady father.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Gal, your thoughts about this. Meta plans to stop making consumer versions of its portal video calling hardware and instead pivot the product line to focus on use cases for businesses like conference calling. The change in strategy, first reported by the information and configured to The Verge by a source familiar with the matter, comes as Meta is reassessing its ambitious hardware plans against investor concerns about the billions of dollars it's spending on projects that have yet to pay off financially.
What kind of pop-up ads will they have in the business case?
I don't know.
In the middle of a meeting and it pops up.
The Portal line, debuted in 2018 with 2 displays, meant as dedicated video calling stations. New versions have been released in the time since, including the portable Portal Go, but the device never became a huge hit. The research firm IDC estimates that Meta shipped 800,000 portals in 2021, accounting for less than 1% of the global smart speaker and display market, according to the information. Meta currently sells 4 portal products from $99 TV connected camera to a $349 smart display. So I'm assuming that this is all with video.
Yeah. Portal is it's basically a webcam and a display. and they have the TV version, which is a webcam that the display goes out via HDMI and you see it on TV.
Oh.
So this news, I can't say it comes with, I can't say I'm in shock or too surprised. It's just they haven't made an impact on the market. Not, I don't know if it. I don't think it's for lack of trying. They're just. It's not a hardware company. These are hardware products,
Mhm.
and I'm guessing the marketing needed to be much more aggressive for it to succeed. Besides, they're competing with Apple and Amazon, and these are companies that have already figured out how to sell hardware, right? So I can't say I'm surprised. I don't think they'll succeed in the business market either.
I wonder if
I
something is.
hope. Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I just hope that they don't die completely, and at least I'll get firmware updates for the portals that I've purchased. They're useful for me, but
Okay,
I
so
can't say.
why are they useful? What is the reason that they are useful to you?
So I got the TV version.
Yeah.
Right. This allows us to have, and we bought one for our son in Israel, and this allows us to have conversations with our grandkids through the screen, through the TV screen.
Mhm.
They see us on the TV screen, which is large and comfortable and static, right? It's not something you hold in your hand or
Mhm.
not something on a counter that is small and not attention grabbing. And it allows us to see our grandkids in on the large screen. So it's as if we're conversing through a window, right? Um, uh, very very little. We're
Distract.
not. No, yeah, it's like the focus is there. The kid can run around and stuff,
Yeah.
and right, and still be in the conversation, and dad can call her and say, come speak with grandma, right? And it's all in front of the screen. So it's for us, that is the only use case, right? Actually, sorry, the second use case is it's all an Android based OS. So the code base is very very Androidy, though there isn't any side loading of that. That's not possible. But there's a Plex. They have like maybe 30 apps. Like that's it. There's no, because they haven't made an impact on the market, right? There's no real want from application makers to put themselves in that ecosystem.
Mhm.
So there's a few apps, ESPN, I think, Pandora Music, stuff like that. But there is a Plex app, and the Plex app, surprisingly, is working on the TV version a lot better than it works on, let's say, Fire TV from Amazon. So I use it also for Plex. But again, that wouldn't be the reason I buy it. So
All right. So where does the box reside?
it literally looks like a large webcam. It sits on top of the TV.
So okay. And how is the audio being picked up by the same device?
Yeah, it has a microphone there.
And it sounds
Sound is through the TV.
yeah,
Yeah, through the
but
TV.
Yeah.
does it
Actually,
sound
through the sound
It's-
system,
yeah.
because the TV is hooked up to the sound system.
right? But does it sound okay? I mean, when somebody's talking
I
and
mean,
they're
it doesn't sound like this It doesn't sound like this microphone, but it sounds like a very good webcam
Okay.
microphone. They have a lot of noise filtering built in. It's actually like hardware-wise, it's very good hardware. I have zero complaints about the make, about the software. The only complaint I have, there's no built-in way of taking a screenshot, which would have been awesome, right? Because I talk with my grandkids, and this is an opportunity for me to, to capture a moment. But I mean, it works. It works, and it works well. The camera tracks movement, so it focuses on the person in the image, and has a very wide range. So the camera is wide angled. It sees a lot of the house, but because of the logic of tracking the faces, right? So if there's two people in the frame, it'll zoom in as much as it can to capture those two people. So, I mean, hardware wise, it is terrific. Nothing that I would be able, especially if I'm purchasing online, nothing that I would be able to see right beforehand. So it was the only reason I bought it in the first place was there was some sale, and for $200 I could buy two, and we were just about to travel to Israel, so it was this is a good idea. I'll buy this and I'll set it up when we go to Israel on the other end, and when we get back home we can converse through the TV, right? You converse through a 60-inch TV, then it's a lot more meaningful than just holding the phone or even a tablet, right? Yep. Especially for the young child. She was just above a year at that point.
How is the performance when you get into multiple users? If you've got just a single point-to-point connection between two locations, in a business sense, if you've got the Brady Bunch and active speaker and all that stuff going, does it support all that?
Yeah. So we had it uses either WhatsApp or Messenger for the conversation. Both of these already support all that, right? Video conversations and video conferencing, it's already baked into these systems, and it works very well on the portal as well. So again, it has the flaws, right? One, it's run by Meta. Nobody likes Meta. They are in a big, right? They are in a big problem here. They have an image problem that they need to solve, and it's nothing that they're gonna solve.
And it's not going to be. It's actually much harder to get into the business world than it is to fix the consumer image.
Well, as far as
that is correct, but I think so. The only reason I think they're thinking about the business world is because they've already tried venturing in there, and they probably have some success, but I don't know about it. They have something called Meta Workspaces, which is tied to the Oculus, right? It's no longer Oculus; it's Quest, Meta Quest. So those virtual workspaces is probably where they are focusing this, because I'm guessing there are some high-level executives that would like to buy those trinkets, those Meta Quests for their employees, but they would never put it on their head. So I'm thinking that's like, if I'm looking at why would Facebook even think about this, this is the only thing that comes to mind. I might be missing something very, very substantial, but
so that's the only reason. Does their workspace even come close to competing with something like Teams?
Oh, it's a virtual reality workspace. It's something completely different.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. So the camera always try to zoom in on the faces that are the important part. Did you ever see it like going out and refocusing?
No, not only if somebody passes through the frame. And you can actually control that as well. Recently, they added some features where you can decide let's say there are 5 people in the room, you only want to focus on one, you can choose who that one is. So it's I mean,
So-
it's,
so
as I
if you-
said,
So if you
it's
use
good.
so if you use it just for yourself, you can tell it that's it. You don't
Yeah.
veer from it. Because I was going to say, if it goes out and back in and all that, that's not going to work for business.
And what about
Well,
things like admission control, where you've got, say, you have an event, your company has an event, you want to invite customers in to come and see the event, and do they have to be a Facebook user, or is there a guest?
if you're using Messenger, they have to have a Messenger account.
Yeah.
If you're using
I mean,
WhatsApp,
that's-
they
that-
have to have a WhatsApp account.
I would never.
WhatsApp
think
is not a
of-
problem in most of the world.
Yeah, for me, I would never think of using Facebook in a business, anything related to Meta, in a business case.
That's
Except
the
maybe-
problem.
But then again,
That's
then again, all you do is create a user that you use only for that. There's no problem because you're not interconnecting anything with anyone. So it's an account. Come on, we can agree, right? That whether we create an account or not create an account, we're tracked. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, because
Uh,
with Teams, you got to create an account. With
Yeah.
you
with
can't just
everything,
any-
you
yeah,
have to have
yeah.
an account.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because is this come because of the Meta's problem and you said that it's something to do with shareholders were not happy with the amount of money they dumped into this
Yeah.
without making any money. So this
Look,
is
they
their
have
problem.
created. Yeah, they have created an Apple. I would say an Apple level hardware product, but they're not selling like Apple, right? So, and the finish of this is like, I mean, it's almost, you know what, maybe a Samsung, right? But still, it's not. They will never get to those sales by being Meta. And I don't think any other company who will buy it from them, let's say, if they if they decide to offload it, it'll just be a loss. So they're trying. I see it. I understand it. I just hope they'll keep firmware updates and stuff, right? That my product will continue working, and they won't decide to discontinue. That's all.
It's interesting how I have an analogy that kind of sort of like that fits this model, is that so many companies now, like Uma is in the home monitoring business, Zoom is in the home, or not Zoom, Wise is in the home monitoring business. Everybody that had a camera before is now in the home monitoring business. So they're all struggling to try to find a place and
To
it's interesting.
diversify. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
with monitoring, like Wise doesn't have in-house monitoring. They have a partner that does the monitoring for them. And I thought that was wise that they didn't try to build it themselves. Because that's, why go out and reinvent something that's already out there, and they have a contractor that does the monitoring side of it. But yeah, everybody wants to take, they have 25% of the solution and they're trying to create the rest of the 75% to match somebody else. And it's just interesting to see who's going to make it. A lot of money being poured into it.
Yeah. All right,
Indeed.
that's good information about it. Next. General Motors couldn't produce the component it needed for its 2022 SUV, the Chevy Tahoe. This is coming
The electric version, right?
No, they're just saying the SUV. This is coming from CNET. So the company's engineer turned to a novel solution. 3D printing. GM made a major investment in the technology in 2020, dedicating 15,000 square feet of space to a facility dubbed the Additive Industrialization Center. Then filling it with HP multi-jet Fusion 3D printers, among others. A year later, GM's big investment paid off. Chevy engineers made a late change to the 2022 Tahoe design, necessitating the creation of an additional part, a new flexible spoiler closeout seal. Fills the gap at the rear of the big SUV. Developing the tooling to injection mold the things would have taken too long. Delaying the delivery of 30,000 vehicles if they had to do that.
30,000 very expensive vehicles.
Yeah. Enter
Fascinating.
3D printing. Engineers
So-
were able to quickly design and print the components using a flexible material that met GM's criteria. They even used a process called vapor polishing to give the parts a perfect shine. Since each Tahoe requires 2 seals, Chevy needed a whopping 60,000 of them. From design to completion took just 5 weeks. That's less than half the time doing the injection molding route would have taken, which got all those SUVs out the door on time.
So is the dealership now going to have a 3D printer so they can make parts for your car?
Well,
No, I can tell you one out of quickly no, and you know why?
why?
Because this is an interesting one. I just heard it on some sort of talk video. The auto industry, right, sells the car at a loss and makes the profit from selling spare parts
And service.
at a premium.
Yep.
And right, service is the dealerships, but the spare parts, that's the manufacturer. And so selling those at a premium, because you sell parts for a car for about 15 to 20 years after the
Yeah.
car has been made, right? And so it's a bit like printers and ink, and what else do we have modeled like that? Anyway, it's that concept of selling something, not making a profit, maybe not losing, but not making a profit, right? And making the profit after the warranty is out.
It's a loss leader. Loss leader to sell the car.
Yeah. So I'm saying no chance in hell that the car dealership will have that. However, that will prompt the small garages, right, to probably equip them with that, and probably some sort of back market, aftermarket of creation around that. And maybe even I'm thinking of a complete marketplace for designers, so these auto shops can purchase the design and print it in their shop. I'm definitely seeing that happen. This is definitely like a jab in the right direction for that, which the car companies are going to hate.
I know when either of you ever used rockauto.com?
A couple of times.
No.
Yeah, I use them a lot. Now you can get just about anything from them. But in the beginning, they were auto body parts. That's where you went to get fenders and whatever you needed to do. And a lot of that is aftermarket, depending on the popularity of the car. Like the 93 Honda Civic was one of the biggest selling cars worldwide, that there are so many aftermarket parts. You could buy a headlight for it for like $12 because it was made. If you bought the Honda headlight, it would be $65. But you could buy it. So this is a market now for doesn't have to be a gigantic big seller anymore. If they can get the engineering part of it and build that part for you for the obscure little, like Amnon, your Sunbeam, right? When you need parts for your little Sunbeam, a little convertible, you'll be able to get a part for it. It's amazing, because all they have to do is take a part and 3D scan it and make it.
I don't like Rock Auto's interface. It's
Actually, you know what? I use it for research. I don't want them to know I do this, but I go there and I look up a part and it gives me the listing. I'm used to it now. So there are parts, there's
okay. You
things
see,
about it
that's
that's
the
not
thing.
great.
Yeah.
But I go and I'm looking for a specific part. I can find their listing and then it gives me all the actual part number, not their part number,
Yeah.
but the manufacturer's part number for those things. I still buy a lot of stuff from them, believe me. They give you every shipment that you get from them, they give you a refrigerator magnet that's got a picture of a car. Like this is, it's basically customers who have sent pictures of their projects. So I have 30 or 40 of them on my refrigerator in the garage, and I have even more, not more, but other ones in the kitchen. So I must have bought from them at least 60 or 70 times over the years, and not just small orders. I mean, buy front end parts, things like that. I ordered a muffler from them one time that came not in a box. It was the muffler and resonator, and it had to be like 6 feet long, and it just had a shipping label on it. It was on my porch. So
Yeah. All right.
yeah, they're
I mean,
great. If you have time, it's the place to buy stuff.
So if Chevy invested that much money in 3D printing, I guess the company will keep on printing them and sell them.
Well, the facility is available to work on anything,
Yeah.
any part they have.
So maybe the dealership, the dealership will have to order it from the company. And I guess the dealership is, what do you do if the dealership printed it and it failed?
Maybe it will get to a dealership printing, but
Under license.
under license, exactly. Like the software will be the manufacturers, right? Ford will install the software and the printer, and its usage will be like you're paying for mileage.
And they just eliminated the
Maybe
whole
that will work.
distribution chain is gone.
Yeah.
Now they own the product. They charge the same premium. The dealer can make more money because there's no shipping. There's no warehousing anymore. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Until we find out there's a bug in the software and the parts come out and they're like millimeters off and they don't fit.
Anyhow, last week I mentioned that AT&T internet, that they raised the price because there was a promotion and all that, and I told to call this week. So I did call this week. And guess what? The first person said, nope, there's nothing. It's going to be $65 for 500 by 500. And I said, look, this doesn't make a bit of sense because I'm paying 70 to Google for gigabit up and down. And theirs will not go up.
Is this consumer or business?
Consumer.
Okay.
This is for the house. So I said, well, in that case, I guess I'll just drop it and find something cheaper because I only use it as a backup. Let me switch you to they call it loyalty.
Oh, not retention?
Not retention. They call it loyalty. So I said, all right, we'll see.
Did you start by saying you are not loyal?
No, I didn't, but
I don't care about loyalty with consumers.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. Because to make a long story short, the agent in the loyalty office, quote unquote, told me in not so many words not to let the door hit me in my butt when I walk out. When I leave.
Can we say Spectrum?
So what?
Can we say what Spectrum did for a while?
I called Spectrum because I said, well, it's fine. It's and after talking, we came up with a plan that's 400, and it's $39.95 for 2 years.
And you were still a Spectrum user.
I'm not.
Oh, you weren't. So you were gone. Okay. So you're a new. This is for a new. You
This
basically a
is
new
this is a
customer.
new. Yep. So
Yeah.
it's $40, but that's for 2 years. I said, yep, that sounds fine. I can use. I didn't think about it at the time, but afterwards, I mean, I went ahead and I signed up, and they said, yeah, we'll send you the modem, but it's not going to start anything until you activate the modem. I said, yeah, because I'm not sure that I'm going to do it. She said, no, let me write it up. And then if you don't want to do it, then you can just take the box and return it to any UPS store. But okay, do it. Later on, when I started looking at it, I said, yeah, okay, I can use this for the reruns. I can use it for the monitoring of the servers. And then I can use Google Fiber for Plex and for my machine and all the other computers. And it hit me, oh, yeah, this is not 400 by 400. This is 400 by 20, which I used for a long time before fiber came along. And it was fine. It did it did the job. So that was a sort of like a first. Shoot, it's only 20. All right. Then I sat down and I got a router that I had here, an Archer 7, because I said I don't need anything fancy. And I realized, boy, there's so much configuring to do.
Oh, all your static IPs and all that.
No, it's not
Routes,
about the
static
static
routes.
IPs. No, it's about just in general, just to do it. And I don't like changes. So I said, okay, but that's fine. So I started and I did it, and I think I finished. This is still on Thursday, and they said that you will get the modem tomorrow on Friday. Um, it the more I thought about it, and the more I'm thinking about it, the more Okay, so I'm going to be paying $25 less than what I will be paying AT&T.
And that $39.95, is that the out the door price, or are there taxes and fees on top of that?
She said $1.40 some taxes and fees. Well, I mean, it started reminding me why I hate Spectrum so much. So I called AT&T again, and I said, okay, I want to know bottom line what can happen. So they don't do any promotions. They don't have any promotions available. So I said, so what if I lower the speed to 300 by 300? He said, that will be $55. And that's not for a year or whatever. That's it.
Still expensive though, huh?
Uh,
Compared to Google, compared to
well, that's 300. They are expensive compared to Google because
yeah.
the 1 gig is 80 some dollars. And the 500 is $5 less than Google's 1 gig. But on the other hand, every time I did a uh, speed test, somehow the AT&T feed is always close to or a little bit above the 500. With Google, it was 700, 600, 800. And the one problem with Google that I see, and I'm even thinking that it affected the show here because I use the Google Fiber for the podcasting. Somehow, every now and then, it drops, and I'll see it on my computer when I get up in the morning, and the uh, the 3 terminals that I have open to my servers will be closed. And that drops when if the feed screws up, even for like 2-3 seconds, that's it drops. But one of the terminals always restart. The other ones shut down. So I'll get up in the morning and one of them is there. I said, okay, there was a problem with Google. And, it's no big deal. I restart. But, I mean, now I'm beginning to think about all these things. So remember, I need this as a backup, right? Getting another account from Google doesn't make sense because there's no redundancy. Getting it from Spectrum would work. Another problem with Spectrum, power goes out, Spectrum goes out. There is no keeping Spectrum up. Power goes out in the neighborhood like what we had after the storm. Now, I'm not talking about in the house.
But AT&T stays up because you have that box
Fiber
across the street.
Fiber stays up no matter what.
Well,
Google's
it's because you're close to the fiber head end, or not head end, but the distribution boxes across the street.
I don't know.
from you, right?
I'm not close to the Google one. There's no box anywhere. Google stays up. That fiber actually does not go to the box across the street. It goes up to Jones Franklin, up in the air, and on the poles, it just goes somewhere else. I don't know where it goes, but it's not coming from the box. The DSL came from that box across the street.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought they upgraded that to include fiber.
No,
They
they still have it there. And they have something they call VDSL. I don't know what that is for lower speeds. But I mean, I wouldn't consider it because it's actually more expensive. So again, here's something else against Spectrum. One is I hate them.
One way or the other, I'm dropping them as soon as I get my lawn situation straightened out and I have my pull tube in place. Because I didn't want them to have to come back and bury it because I'm still not done fixing landscaping, because who knows, it would be a real problem.
Yeah.
So I'm providing a pull tube to them down into their box so they can just pull the fiber right up to the house and not have to worry about burying it.
So when I called back,
Switching.
the lady I talked with was very nice, not even in the loyalty, but very nice. Sounded like an older lady, knew her stuff. And she was saying, I'd hate to see you go, but let me see. How about if I give you $100 gift certificate and you only have to keep the service for one more month? And maybe if you call in a month, there'll be some promotion. I said, no, it's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something steady and stable. Which later on, because I talked her to go with AT&T, hers is going to go up also. And she decided, she's got Google Fiber in the neighborhood, and she said she's going to switch. But she said, I took the $100 gift certificate, a gift card, and I'm going to stay another month, and then I'm going to switch. And she said, why didn't you do that, Dad? I said, I don't know. I didn't think like that. So I was talking with the lady, and she's the one that told me that the 300 is like this and all that. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to call back tomorrow. I'm going to say, look, guys, I'm holding the Spectrum modem in my hand. I don't like Spectrum. So let's see if we can arrive at something. I was told Friday that I can have a $100 gift certificate. On the website, on your website, it says $200 gift certificate. So which one is it, first of all? And second, I'll drop it to $300. I'll be paying $10 more a month than what I'm paying now. 300 by 300 is way more than I need as a backup. If I'm talking about Flex or doing the broadcasting and anything, 300 is a lot. and that's 300 by 300. And I think I will be able to just keep everything as is without changing, the modem and all that. They will just close the spigot a little bit on their end and set it up to 300. But it's amazing how a company, knowing that they have competition, which they didn't in the beginning, granted, now they have competition, don't really care about what the customer. I mean, they don't care if a customers walk out.
It's my pendulum theory. They swing towards customer service and satisfaction and gaining new customers, and they swing away to profitability, and then they swing back after things go bad. They swing back to customers, and then they never stopped in the middle. They
It's
never
ridiculous.
realized that the least amount of movement by the pendulum is the most stable environment you can be in. So they chase stuff. They chase profitability, or they chase customer sat. You can't have both.
And like I was thinking to begin with is, look, I got the fiber a year ago. They had to come in, run the fiber, then get the person, the contract to come and bury it and connect it and all that. That was not cheap for them. How would they let something like, I don't think they made their money in the first year.
It might be even longer than that.
So
I don't
I
know.
was sure that they're going to say, no, it's fine. We'll give you another year.
I remember having that conversation with Spectrum where they basically told me, like you said, the pound salt.
Yeah.
Pound salt. No, we don't care. We're not going to give you a better deal.
I don't.
And this was the retention person.
Mm.
And I was like, well, do you really want to still be in? And I had no choice. There was no other opportunity.
Yeah,
for me.
right.
I just couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
But then again, like 2 months later, I called back when they raised it again. Oh, well, you want this? Oh, actually, what happened was the person on the phone wouldn't do anything. I carried the hardware into the Spectrum store, and the guy goes, "Oh, let's see what we can do." And we came up with a deal. And he says, "Oh, you're on a grandfathered Time Warner plan. That's why they can't do anything." I said, "Well, why didn't they talk about that on the phone?"
Of course, because
I had to bring the equipment in and threaten to leave. And and they gave me a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I never had a situation talking with a provider that didn't try to at least meet you halfway.
Yeah.
This was a bad experience with AT&T. But I remember Gal saying some time ago about cell phones. It's no longer loyalty here. It's a commodity.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like that.
They don't think about you in any loyal
Right.
way. So
Yeah.
why should you be loyal to them? Right.
Absolutely.
There are consultants and departments that probably have that on their menu of things they're supposed to monitor and watch. But obviously the people who are funding this stuff aren't.
Yeah. So yeah, you need you need, if you're paying a lot for internet service you need to first find out what else is available in your area, and don't assume that you are now, if you're in the city. Out in the rural areas, although there's a lot, I mean, I wish I lived in Holly Springs. They have Ting, which is a good deal. There are some areas that even though they're rural, they have fiber available now. So
I have someone I know that's going to try the T-Mobile service. Their service now is terrible. They just don't have anything good. And so this, for them, anything will be an upgrade. So,
well,
but they're waiting now. They're still on the list to get implementation.
So find out really who is available in your area. Call them, because there are a lot of changes, a lot of new installations, and you may not be aware that you have this company or that company.
And
Then
when you call, tell them you're a friend of Amnon's.
yeah, and go with whoever is cheapest, because this is like in the older days of PC clones. In the early days, you really needed to have good hardware to be compatible with a PC. There were a lot of other PC quote unquote clones, but this doesn't run Lotus 123. I remember the days where a clone was judged by, can it run Lotus 123 or cannot? That's how you judged whether it was a good PC or not. And to get the hardware that did everything right, we had to get more expensive parts. And when I sold a computer, it was more expensive than what you can go down to the store. A few years later, it became okay, now everything is standard. The prices are the hardware, anything can run whatever you want it to run. Now it's a price wise. And at that point, say, okay, yeah, so I'm going to lower the price. And it happens a lot in computer hardware and software. So, I'll say it. I don't understand a company like that really doesn't care about the consumer, their customer. This is who's paying them their salary.
It'll swing back, but not
It's-
because they care about it.
Well,
It'll swing back because somebody will say, "Hey, we're not making this number anymore." And
that's
it's
the other.
not a profitability number. We're not growing our consumer base the way we want to. So they'll dedicate and they say, "Okay, we'll do this now. We'll do these promotions, but it's only going to last a certain amount of time, and it's just to grow our customer base."
Well,
And then they'll be back and forth. They'll just switch back and forth. And
I found out something about Spectrum, which a lot of people should know. You get a much better deal as a new customer.
oh, absolutely,
you-
that's the only way to be.
If
You
you're
just
on but if you're on there, if you have Spectrum service, if you disconnect for 30 days, you can go back and you're a new customer. It takes
Oh, it was 6 months.
No, 30 days. It's on their website, which is interesting. So first, that's one thing I'm going to ask AT&T tomorrow is, how long do I have to
How
be
long?
off before I'm considered a new customer? I can come in and get a promotion. And the other thing that pissed me off about AT&T, they did not say that the price was a promotion when we started with them a year ago. Because I asked.
Yeah,
Ugh.
even if they claim it is not right.
Yeah.
They can still change the prices
Oh, yeah.
going forward.
Well, anybody
So,
can. Anybody.
It doesn't matter how they call it, right?
Yeah.
The fact that they are not receptive to the fact that you want to change.
Right.
It's all about the mentality. It's not the mentality of profit, but the mentality of maximizing profit,
Yeah.
right? And
Absolutely.
I mean, I want this company to profit from my payment,
Yeah.
but stop maximizing profit, right, on my back. That's, you already got enough, right? Well, why are you squeezing me for more? That's a problem. That's definitely
that's
a problem.
the whole shareholder model. This value of stock and dividends and all that stuff, and that comes from maximizing profits.
And I'm wondering how many customers are going to drop them, because every place there's AT&T fiber now, there's also Google.
Or vice versa. That's
vice
how they
or
choose their
vice
sites,
versa.
right? They choose, yeah.
Yeah,
They
I
choose
think
their
most
sites by
people,
the competition.
most people have to reach you. It depends on what your threshold is. How much does it have to go up before you really do something? It goes up. Oh yeah, Spectrum just raised it again. And what point? How many increases would you have to go through before you're actually willing to take the time to change? So it's just people. I'm not saying they're lazy. I'm just saying that everybody has a threshold. If it's just $5, and then when it's $5 2 times a year, 3 times a year,
right.
then you're like, wait a minute. So I think most people have so many other distractions in their lives that this is not the most important thing.
Oh, it's not the most important thing, but
your
when
your food is going up faster than your Spectrum bill is going up.
Yep. So Hannah's going to keep it for another month, and then she's going to switch to Google Fiber because it's going to cost her.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can't you get a business rate plan?
It's always more, a bunch more.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember them not being as high. I just couldn't get them because I wasn't a business.
I mean, they don't, as a business, they don't care. If you order a business, they're going to take it. You don't have to prove anything.
So the days are gone when Spectrum used to monitor what traffic was going back and forth.
Everything is no caps now.
Yeah.
It costs more. And you don't get any benefits of being a business. It used to be that, you get, a representative that you can always call that knows you and blah, blah, blah. Nothing. It's the only thing is you classified as a business, but it doesn't do any good to do it. Yeah, I looked into that. So now that it's the year of the fiber in many areas in our area is coming to an end, who switched to fiber to begin with? Early adopters. Early adopters normally are techie or people that are looking into, hey, what's better? And they're not afraid to change. Now that it's going to go up, and it's going up by $20, same people are going to look and say, oh, shoot, I shouldn't do that. I mean, it's just like what I told Spectrum when we switched to Google. I said, you're charging me $80 a month for 400 by 20. I get Google for gigabit up and down. Economically, it makes no sense to stay with you. Didn't bother
Wonder
them.
how much would it cost to print a sign for your yard, like a large one, so anybody that says check your AT&T bill.
Yeah.
Because most people, right, it takes time until they notice.
You got to find the biggest AT&T office that's on a main thoroughfare, and you stand out there with a sign. Are you overpaying for AT&T?
People should do that about everything that they subscribe to, not just AT&T. Anything. And they were really tricky in the beginning. Because the notice was your bill is going to go up by $14. Next bill is going to go up. Then I found out, it's not $14, it's $20. The reason it's $14 this month is because the promotion was not yet over, so part of the bill was under promotion, supposedly.
Oh, sneaky.
I mean sneaky.
Yep.
I mean, I would have had a month to look around, to get a plan, how to do it, where to go, what to do.
So you think about it. Did somebody in a planning session in a room say, hey, I know how we can raise everything and make people not aware? Did they really have that thought, or is it just that it hit at that moment?
I
and
don't
you
know, but
prorated
here it is. It's a situation where it would have gone up twice in 2 months. First one is the $14 a month, and the next one is going to be $20 more a month.
You know what, Amnon? You don't need internet. Just
I
get
know.
rid of it. Just dump it.
Yeah,
You
well.
don't need it.
And then this morning I was thinking, I mean, I'm thinking about it all the time. I'm thinking about Gal, who has just Google Fiber. Gal, how many times was Google Fiber down?
Zero.
Zero. You see, and
Actually,
I'm thinking,
sorry, there was a single day where they were out for like a couple of hours, and the only reason I know about it is because I got an email saying we're so sorry that here's like 50 cents back on your bill, or on your next bill you're gonna get 50 cents back. It's like I never even felt it.
yeah, so I'm thinking about it and I'm saying, back in the day when I had just Spectrum, that the power goes down, it goes down. I had to have a backup. Maybe I don't need that anymore because yeah, I can say that Google did not really go down. It went down as far as I was seeing here, but rebooting the modem or the router brought everything back up. So I don't think it was their fault. So I'm going back and I'm saying, well, do I really need it? And it's just tearing you inside, back and forth and back and forth. But I'm I'm thinking at this point, I mean, if you ask me right now to make a decision, I would say, yep, I'm going to go with AT&T 300 by 300 and take a gift card and do it like that.
I'm telling you, just go across the street to where the DSL box is, dig a hole, tap into the fiber.
Fiber is not there.
No,
I see what you mean. Yeah,
that's probably connected to the central office over fiber.
Yeah.
So find that fiber and just hack into it.
Oh.
Oh,
It's just interesting, and I hope that other people will be able to benefit from this, listening to this, and start doing their own, making their own decision. All right, Spence, you ready for specials?
No, it's too late.
Oh, okay.
Can't start.
So
Can't start. It's too
let's
late.
go.
All right. We have to run the clock back. Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah.
So today is actually June 19th. This is a special.
Let me first of all go. Okay.
What?
I ran it back.
Okay, good. This is the special storm lightning edition of having had a couple of major rainstorms and thunderstorms in the last couple of weeks, with the outages that go with it. All right, so I'm not saying I'm going to make this a regular thing, but how was your week? It's just so much fun going and finding IT.
No, I think we need
tools.
to give you another corner of the show, and it'll just be just.
Oh,
for
this
that.
is just fun to mention these things.
Yeah.
So it's a big problem when users start mistaking a can of WD-40 for canned air when they clean their keyboard, right? It's so oily. All right, person is entering data on a floppy disk. Now, this is an old quote, obviously, unless people still are using floppies. Was told that she had to make a copy at the end of every day to provide a backup. About 6 months later, the disk became corrupt. So the technician asked if she had the copies. She opened a filing cabinet drawer and pulled out a stack of paper. On each sheet was a photocopy of the disk.
Oh, backup.
I could probably make my own list of things, having been a service guy for all those years.
Yep.
All right. A user slapped the device down on the counter and exclaimed, "My mouse doesn't work." The IT pro picked it up, looked at it, then slapped it down on the desk and responded, "That's because it's your garage door opener." A user calls and says, "I put paper in the printer and still nothing's printing." I said, "Okay, I'll be right back and take a look at it." When I opened the drawer, the ream of paper was still wrapped in the paper in its package. But
Huh?
you know what? The thing is about this stuff, it's funny, but it's not implausible. This is stuff that happens.
No, I'm guessing that actually happened.
Yeah. I mean, that is absolutely possible. Just the things that,
Yeah.
amazing. I remember
Anyway,
I could tell stories. All right. So today we're going to look at Staples and Best Buy. So Staples, I only pick things when I used to look at printers, I would not pick anything on sale. I did actually find something on sale. Very few printers on sale, and I can't explain that. But a lot of sales on Apple stuff, and that's at Best Buy. It's at all their outlets are having sales. So we've got the Apple SE, Apple Watch SE 44 millimeter for $279, which is 30 off. You want to go with the Apple Watch Series 7 model, 45 millimeter, it's $379, which is $50 off.
okay. So why should one go with the more expensive one?
Well,
do you know
processor, features, what's supported on it?
Okay.
I don't know that there's a lot of difference, but
Okay.
you can look at like each of these iPads that we're going to mention, the iPad Pro 11-inch and the iPad Air 10.9 inch. Every new generation, they'll say, ninth generation, 10th generation, 11 is a better processor, better memory, better display. There's something about it that improves. So, version to version, there's always an incremental improvement. Sometimes it's fantastic. Sometimes it's, not so much. But so you can actually get $100 off an iPad Pro 11-inch, 128 gig, $699, 100 off. I know a lot of people more every day that are using iPads as their go-to machine. They still have a PC or a Mac or desktop, but they can do most of their business on the iPad. They have a keyboard case that goes with it, so they have a nice keyboard. They'll use the pen to use for stylus as a tablet. I'm seeing it happen. I've switched Pam. Pam no longer uses her little Dell ThinBook anymore. She's using an iPad. And not that she was doing that much on it, but the things that she did on that were unique, I was able to move over to the iPad. So there's one other app I have to add to it that still isn't there yet. And I have to confirm a few logins that they work properly. But I've been moving it over. It's working great. All right. So they've also got the iPad Air 10.9 inch for $449, which is $150 off. The iPad I bought her, I think, was the iPad, I want to say 9th generation. The one I have is 7th generation. Hers is the 9th generation. I can see just the difference in the quality of the display and also the speed. And just mine is probably 3 years old, and hers was the one that came out at the end of 2021. All right. So also sales on AirPods. I did not mention the cheapest one. The cheapest one is $129, and that is the one that still has the same form factor as the original iPhone earbuds and the old iPod earbuds. I hate them because they do not stay in your ears. But so I didn't mention that one. But we've got the AirPods for $169.10 off, and then we got AirPods Pro for $199, which is $50 off.
So that's if you're a professional.
Yes, if you're a professional, you have to use the Pros. Otherwise, they don't work. So that you have to get your professional certification to buy these.
Yeah.
Okay, Brother P-Touch Cube desktop label printer, $39.99, save $20. I think that price is probably a loss leader to get you to buy materials, which is the tape, which is expensive. You can find deals on it. It's hard, but you can find deals on it.
Yeah,
you can also learn how to adjust. I have one that takes one of the newer Brother printers, label printers, that puts out a lot of blank tape between prints. So you can actually adjust that in the software and the setup on it to not put so much lead tape out there to waste tape, because you're cutting off all kinds of extra tape.
Yeah.
But all right, so it's $39.20 off. Got a Logitech MK50. This is the wireless wave keyboard, full multimedia, for $49.99, 10 off. Nice to see Logitech stuff coming back.
Comes with a garage opener.
It does. It has a garage door opener light on the keyboard to tell you when the door opens. We've got a couple of deals on monitors. Got 2 AOCs, a 24-inch AOC for $139, save 10. A 27-inch AOC for $149, save 30. We've got an Asus Intel Core i3 laptop, $239, save $210. Now this specific one is Windows 10 S. It did say, all of these say upgrade to Windows 11. So 10S, I don't know that they make an S version of 11. But
yeah, and
even if you are something, you can just turn off the S feature.
I think the only reason they have the S version is for space, because the hard drive is not big enough.
Maybe.
I don't know.
That's true.
And it takes it takes 30 seconds on the App Store to change it to.
This is a 128 gig SSD.
Yeah,
so
that's
why it has to be S. I don't know.
Yeah, because there's not enough. It's enough room, but they try to give you more room for storage. Right. I mean, none of the machines with 512 or a terabyte have S on it.
No. And I was thinking the S would be like the eMMC 64 gig, the smaller.
Well, I don't know.
Solid state, the inferior solid state ones that aren't as fast as a regular SSD drive. Okay. We've got an Asus i5 15.6 inch for $399, save $220 off the regular price. And then they've got an HP Core i3 for $329, save $220. These are all 15.6 inch machines, 4 gig, 12 gig, and 8 gig respectively. No slouches. I've got a desktop, HP Slim Desktop Core i3 for $389, 8 gig, 256 SSD, save $110. We've got Amnon here with a smiling face, give us a thumbs up. TP-Link Archer AX3000 wireless router for $119. That's 20 off, dual band, Wi-Fi 6. There is a sale. This is the only sale I could find on a printer on the Staples side. Everything else was just, here's the price.
And it's an inkjet.
That's what?
It's an inkjet, though.
This is an inkjet printer, yes.
Yeah.
HP Envy Inspire 7955E all in one. The reason I selected this one too, and I like this, is because it's actually got a sheet feeder, which is very handy.
Oh.
So some of them are all in ones, but it's just a flip top scanner, which is also do that. But I like having the sheet feeder. I've done it. I've used it extensively for projects in the past on the laser one that I have. But even just for a couple of sheets, it just makes it easy to do. You just stick it in there and scan it, and it does it automatically. So $219, say $50. I included these other things. The furniture that I have, which is it's a major brand name. I can't remember what not Arthur Miller. That's a dance studio. Something like that name.
Yeah.
Furniture had this thing. They call it a puppy, and it's basically a roll-around file cabinet like this. It's got a small drawer in the top, large drawer for files in the bottom, and it's a seat. And in the type of furniture they used to have at Nortel, this was the stuff they gave you for your home office. So I have 2 of these. One is up in the attic. It's just, I don't need that many. But what a great little roll around thing. Because if you want, like if somebody wants to come and sit in your office and you don't have a chair, you pull this out, it's a seat. You can sit on it. It's got a pad on the top. I don't know what this does, but this reminded me of the so-called puppy. And 3-door mobile file cabinet for $149. And this is for you, Amnon. This is to upgrade your bulletin board with something that's a little more eye-catching. It's a happy retro printed corkboard for $35.99, which is that was off. And that's it for Staples. For Best Buy, I didn't know they made an over-the-ear noise-canceling headphones, wireless headphones. Sony makes it for $99. Oh, this is on sale, 50 off. It's normally $149. I thought the entry point for these was $2 something or more, but hey, great. So Sony WH-CH710N wireless noise canceling over-the-ear headphones for $99. Got an Asus ZenBook 14-inch Ryzen 5 for $469, which is $250 off. Now, I don't know if these prices are inflated to make the sale look better. This is a common tactic, is to show a huge price, raise the price on everything and put it on sale. So, but it sounds impressive at $250 off. Another Asus ZenBook 15.6-inch Ryzen 7 is $699, $200 off. A couple of desktops, HP desktops, one with a Ryzen 3 for $399, $100 off. We got a Ryzen 5 for $519, $120 off. LG 24-inch monitor for $129, save $70. We've got a Samsung 27-inch curved monitor for $209, save $60. Now, this next APC 450 VA battery backup, I think this is in line with what the regular price at Costco used to be in the $40 range, 40 something. It's now in the 50s range. They don't have sales, but that's their regular price. So this is actually a pretty good price compared to what you could get it for at Costco. Got a Samsung 2 terabyte, 2.5 internal solid state drive, $189, say $35. This is expensive, and I just didn't know if this was Crucial is a good product. Whether this price makes sense, but it is a Crucial X6 SE 4 terabyte external USB-C, USB-A portable solid state drive. $359.99, save $90. So I know Crucial, you're going to pay a little more for Crucial stuff. I buy memory. Crucial was the only one at the time when I upgraded my Mac. Supposedly the Apple BIOS would not allow you to go above 4 gig. But Crucial came out with a specific memory upgrade that would work at 8 gig with the same BIOS. Somehow they figured out a way to do it. And I don't know if others have done the same thing, but it was really good because I got 8 gig out of which wasn't supposed to work. If you bought the memory upgrade from Apple, you were maxed out at 4 gig. So, but it worked. All right. And then finally, it's a USB Type-C slim 7-in-1 multi-port adapter, Ethernet, 4 gig HDMI. Well, it says Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet, it's redundant. USB-C PD charging was $63.99, save $16. And I don't know how you, Satechi, something like that is the brand. Yeah. They had a whole bunch of stuff. This was the most inexpensive one they had. But it looks like it's got some, I'm not sure what this wide port is here. Maybe that's a memory card, like an SD card reader or something like that. But
what is PD charging?
PD, it's the charging standard. I think it's either pass through, where if you plug in, the computer plugs into the USB-C. Now this is not. I'm not sure what that means.
Oh.
Usually, if it's a charging the adapter will have a powered supply, and then you plug it into the USB-C port on your computer, and it charges the computer. So I'm not sure whether that's what that means. I don't know that this comes with a separate.
I wonder what happens with these things. I mean, to make it simple, this is like a docking station,
essentially. A port replicator.
This is not. So I can shed some light.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a USB-C. I think it's called Lightning. So it is part of the USB-C protocol that does the display and all that. It doesn't require any specific drivers. It needs the laptop to have a USB-C port that is Lightning capable or something like that.
Oh.
So that's what makes it very, very effective, because it's basically a chipset that does all the work. There's no drivers involved.
Okay.
And that's why you have pass-through power. So you'll have 2 ports of USB-C on the device. one for incoming power and one for powering, like chain powering another device. So it is fantastic. It's very effective, and the price point you have here, 63, makes a lot of sense. It's a good one. You might get some cheaper ones, but this price point is a decent one.
Okay.
There are devices like this that support 2 displays, right? Like two HDMI, 2 display ports. So there's I've used these. These are excellent.
So
Not the specific Satechi, but I'm talking about in general, like the design and all that.
So PD stands for means power delivery.
Oh.
So it's a
protocol. That basically
yeah,
means that it passes through. Yeah.
flexible charging with USB Type C, physically a subset of the new USB 3.1 standard.
All right, and here is the $128,000 question. What?
No, today you get a discount today. It's only
What happens if you plug this into a cell phone USB-C?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Just
period.
nothing.
The cell phone doesn't provide power.
Yeah, you won't get any. I mean, it won't be a USB reader. It won't.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
All right. I guess. Well, thank you, Spence.
Oh, you're welcome.
I guess Gal is on a conference using Portal. Anyway. Let's see. So, Microsoft has dismissed reports about June 14th being the last patch Tuesday, as the rollout of the Windows Auto Patch server seems to be causing some confusion. Several major cybersecurity companies and prominent security news publications caused confusion this week when they reported that June 14 was the final patch Tuesday, describing it as the last ever patch Tuesday, the end of patch Tuesday, and the end of an era. That is not accurate. The rollout of Windows Auto Patch does not mean there will no longer be Patch Tuesday updates, and Microsoft told Security Week that the company will continue releasing security updates on the second Tuesday of the month. So,
what was their plan in all of the discussion of saying they wanted to move to Thursday? What?
I have
it's like,
no earthly idea.
What's the big deal?
It's just interesting that something like this will make the news. Okay, those of you that are in big companies, because big companies use Cisco, Cisco advises owners of end-of-life small business RV routers to upgrade to newer models after disclosing a remote code execution vulnerability that will not be patched. The vulnerability is tracked as such and such and has a CVSS severity rating of 9.8 out of 10. According to Cisco Security Advisory, the flaw exists due to insufficient user input validation of incoming HTTP packets on the impacted device. An attacker could exploit it by sending a specially crafted request to the web-based management interface, resulting in command execution with root-level privileges. Ouches, yeah. It's a big ouch. So, yeah, you need, and they're not, I guess it's end of life, so they're not going to patch it. So, be aware of it. Talk to your IT if they have any RV routers, and start the ball rolling at your place of work. And I know we talked earlier in the past about NSO Group from Israel. Well, the U.S. defense contractor L3 Harris is in talks to take over NSO Group surveillance technology in a possible deal that would give an American company control over one of the world's most sophisticated and controversial hacking tools. Discussions were centered on a sale of the Israeli company Core Technology, Code A, as well as the possible transfer of NSO personnel to L3 Harris. But any agreement still faces significant hurdles, including requiring the blessing of the U.S. and Israeli government, which have not yet given the green light to a deal. In a statement, a senior White House official said such a transaction, if it were to take place, raises serious counterintelligence and security concern for the U.S. government. I guess they have to say that, but anybody would like to own this this technology. And it's interesting that that a company here will be interesting in that. Use Photoshop.
Really,
No.
but
Well, Adobe has started testing a free-to-use version of Photoshop on the web and plans to open the service up to everyone as a way to introduce more users to the app. The company is now
now I might use it.
The company is now testing the free version in Canada, where users are able to access Photoshop on the web through a free Adobe account. Adobe
You see, now that's a mistake.
you need an account.
No. Like testing it in Canada.
Oh,
You need to test something like this, like in Israel or in India, right? Where people are not like inherently nice, are not like they're not polite, they're not law abiding by nature, right? And so you're testing it in Canada where everybody's straight and an arrow. Come on, there's an arrow.
yeah. If you're trying to find out what can happen, you
Test it in Russia, right? And then see if it's abused, see if there's user uptick, if you get new subscribers.
Well, it says where users are able to Photoshop on the web through a free account, but you need a free account. So they got
Yeah,
your
that's fine.
they got your information.
I mean,
Adobe,
when something is free, you are the product.
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
That, right?
They describe the service as freemium and eventually plans to gate off some features that will be exclusive to paying subscribers. Enough tools will be freely available to perform what Adobe considers to be Photoshop's core functions. We want to make Photoshop more accessible and easier for more people to try it out and experience the product. That's what they're saying.
I'm sorry, but they're full of crap, right? All they need to do is they already did that with Photoshop Essentials.
Yeah, with the
right?
older.
So it was like a limited version of the software, which would cost like substantially less.
Yep.
Just make that free and keep the professional stuff cost, right? At cost. But I mean, in the long run, sounds like we're getting something. And it only took what? like multiple very good freemium offering on the web. Like it took competition to actually build up for them to realize that they're losing ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, their tools are still the better ones. They're still the most advanced ones because they are very far ahead than anybody in this area. So while there might be other tools that do like one specific thing better than them, their suite of tools is the only one that does like all of it in a very, very good way. So, I mean, it sounds like a win for us consumers. But again, we need to now be very, very wary about what they are collecting, uh, uh, how their privacy uh, policy looks like, what they're collecting, who they're working with,
mm-hmm.
where that data will go. And again, their software, while it's the most advanced when it comes to media authoring, it is terribly written. Uh, it is
I wouldn't.
bloated. It
Yeah.
is heavy, right? So they have a long way to go on that front. They haven't improved their underlying infrastructure framework for a long time. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that I think this will go is we'll start hearing a lot more about 0-day vulnerabilities in Adobe software, like we used to when it was Acrobat, right? When Acrobat Reader was the ubiquitous
Mm-hmm.
solution for reading PDFs. So
What do you use
let's see.
for reading PDFs these days?
I use an open source one called Sumatra
Oh,
for reading. And if I need to edit, I use PDF-X, which has an editor. Uh, it has a free and a paid version. I use the free version, where it doesn't really allows you to edit. It allows you to annotate, but it allows you to annotate very well. So I use that.
yeah. I still use Acrobat Reader.
No, I hate their software. It just
I don't do much with
notice
PDFs.
one thing: when you install that software, there's like three background stuff. There's something installed to the scheduler that runs periodically. There's a service that runs for updates. I don't want that. I don't want that running on my machine. So I don't install their application.
No, Sumatra.
They assume the system is theirs, and I don't like software like that.
Okay. Starting last Tuesday, Firefox rolled out total cookie protection by default to all Firefox users worldwide, making Firefox the most private and secure major browser available across Windows and Mac. Total cookie protection is Firefox's strongest privacy protection to date, confining cookies to the site where they were created, thus preventing tracking companies from using these cookies to track your browsing from site to site. Whether it's applying for a student loan, seeking treatment or advice through a health site, or browsing an online dating app, massive amounts of your personal information is online, and this data is leaking all over the web. So that's nice.
Interesting.
Yeah. And on
I use Firefox. I never saw it. So
yeah, this
I
started.
wonder if I need to enable it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's not that it wasn't there. They're just turning it on by default for everybody. And talking about these information and what's going on, A tracking tool installed on many hospitals' websites has been collecting patient-sensitive health information, including details about their medical conditions, prescriptions, and doctor's appointments, and sending it to Facebook.
Never.
Now, the markup tested the websites of Newsweek's top 100 hospitals in America. On 33 of them, we found the tracker called the Metapixel, sending Facebook a packet of data whenever a person clicks a button to schedule a doctor appointment. The data is connected to an IP address, an identifier that likes the computer mailing address and can generally be linked to a specific individual or household, creating an intimate receipt of the appointment request for Facebook. The markup found 33 of Newsweek's top 100 hospitals in the country sending sensitive data to Facebook via the Pixel. Data accurate as of June 15th, 2022. On the website of University Hospitals Cleveland Medical Center, for example, clicking the Schedule Online button on a doctor's page prompted the Metapixel to send Facebook the text of the button, the doctor's name, and the search term we used to find her: pregnancy termination. Clicking the Schedule Online Now button for a doctor on the website of Frottert Hospital in Wisconsin prompted the Metapixel to send Facebook the text of the button, the doctor's name, and the condition we selected from a drop-down menu: Alzheimer's. All this information is going to Facebook. This is just amazing. I mean, this is supposed to be a social platform to discuss things back and forth. And these are on 33 of the top hospitals. Now, this is installed probably unbeknown to the users. So hopefully,
Probably.
huh?
Probably.
Yeah. Well,
Mostly.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. So you don't need to put a lot of information out there. Look, they're taking just 2, 3, 4 words, what you're searching, and that gives Facebook an idea who you are and what are you searching for. Hospital. Yeah. And talking about browsers, I mean, I laughed when I read this. It's finally happening. Microsoft will be ending support for most versions of Internet Explorer 11 on June 15th. I thought it was already killed years ago.
I thought it was already gone too.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Think about all the support we missed out on.
Yeah. And the article was saying that they are steering people to Edge. I don't know who's using, I really don't know who's using IE.
Well, I
And-
can tell you Edge is right now the most interesting Chrome clone
Mhm.
because it has all of the Chrome technology. So anything from Google you can run properly. And it has vertical tabs. which is fantastic. It is really great. Their implementation of vertical tabs is great. And this is the only major browser, right, that has vertical tabs. The other major browser that has vertical tabs built in is Vivaldi. So it's if you're not using Firefox, which has vertical tabs add-ons, not great ones in the new version, but okayish. Uh, and you're using a Chrome-based browser right now, use Edge. I would recommend using Edge. Disable all of the specific Microsoft features because they have baked in. They have like a coupon hunting feature and some stuff that is about tracking and pushing of advice and etc. When you disable those, you get a pretty much clean Chrome experience. I've been using that now with my new job on a Linux machine. Works perfectly. A Microsoft tool that I run on a Linux machine and works without issues. It's a very strange world we live in today.
Yeah. Let's see. That's another thing that's going away, but that I also thought went away. Google is shutting down Talk, also known as GChat, for good. It's instant.
They did that already as well.
Well, I know. It's instant messaging service you probably haven't used much since 2007. Although Google migrated Talk users over to Google Hangouts in 2017, another one.
And now to chat.
And what?
Right? The Hangouts is dying as well.
Yeah. And now Sideline's messaging platform. It was still accessible by third-party XMPP client like Pigeon and Kagem. But Google cut these last lines of life support on June 16. In a message on Talk support page, Google says it's winding down Google Talk and will no longer support third-party apps. Citing its initial announcement in 2017, users who try to sign into GChat after the 16th will see a sign-in error. If you still want to use Pigeon through Google services, Pigeon recommends using this plugin for Google Chat instead.
Right, which is the latest incarnation of
so why
was Hangouts.
Well,
interesting, very interesting.
Yep.
So in the world of chat,
Yeah.
There is one piece of technology that is very interesting, and it's called Matrix. Matrix is a server implementation. Well, it's not exactly an implementation; it's more of a protocol of interconnecting chat services with different providers, different service providers. There's I think their baseline implementation is called Synapse, and there's a lot of different clients that can connect to it. These can facilitate chat with, let's say, you can interconnect a service like Discord and an anonymous web chat, for example, right? Stuff like that. It's a very intriguing technology. It's been around for a while, open source, community, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I mentioned it last time or not, but if not, so there's there's a company that's trying to utilize Matrix and create a service, a hosted service, very similar to, you mentioned Pigeon. We all probably know from our past Trillion, which are these multi-chat clients, multi-chat solution, multi-protocol chats. The difference is it's a hosted service that you connect to it with a client, but you do not need to. I call this herding the chats, right? You do not need to move your peers to this new network in order to use it. And I've there's going to be a charge involved. They're running beta right now, or they just came out of beta, and their plan is to charge $10 a month for the service, which right now feels a bit steep. So I can't say I wholeheartedly recommend it. But the technology they are using is very, very, very interesting. It's very, very cutting edge. It's approaching the problem in a very good and interesting way. Think about this. You get your entire chat, doesn't matter which network you're connected to. So you chat with the people that you are connected to, even though there might be a network that you have only one friend there. So you will be able to chat with them in a single application, have all your conversations together, control, importancy and stuff like that. They have like important chat and less important chat buckets that you can separate them. So there's all of these, and everything is cloned no matter where you use it. You can use it on a tablet, you can use it on a PC, you can use it on Mac, or I think their iOS app.
Yeah.
I mute. Okay, sorry. And so it's there's this, to me it seems like an understanding finally that things need to be more human centric than system centric, and this is one of the solutions that seems to be that. Really hope that this will evolve into a self-hosted solution in the end, because one of the things that and it's approaching privacy in a very, very effective way. While you get something hosted, it is all encrypted with a private key that they do not own, that only you get the copy of. So recovering history if you lost the private key is a problem, right? It's not something that they can help you with.
Right.
That you will be allowed probably to reset and restart if you have access to whatever account was used to create the connection. But unless the history is preserved on the original chat system, you will not have access to it. So it connects to Signal, it connects to WhatsApp, it connects to all of the modern Telegram, Messenger, but it also connects to iMessage. Think about this.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Think about this. Connecting to an iMessage account from a PC, from an Android phone, right? Apple has promised something like this about a year ago or 2 years ago, that it's coming to the desktop. Remember that?
Yep.
But we haven't seen that yet. And here, a company seems to have provided. I don't know how long it will live, right? Because I don't know how hard Apple is going to fight those APIs or not. And if they're using a an official API or not. So, but the fact that it exists, and the fact that it is based on open source solutions. So, as I said, it's based on Matrix, and the plugins for something like iMessage
I'm
is
looking
open
at the
source.
Matrix page now. Very interesting.
Yeah.
What they did.
So it
what's
is a
the company
very,
name
very
again?
interesting. The company itself is called Beeper, beeper.com.
Beeper. Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Interesting.
So it's, yeah, there's, if you are like me and you hate the clutter around different chats, take a look at these guys. And if you try them out, let us know. It'll be an interesting reference to see where this grows.
Think about what this would do for support organizations. They probably have
Yes.
something like this, because if you look at the communications industry who do support, they're monitoring so many different systems for comments like Twitter and that. But what this would do for support when you've got people able to communicate back into a central location, they could monitor all
So
the.
I would really,
Yeah.
I really believe revenue wise, that's probably where the money is,
Yeah.
right? For something like this. But that's the thing. Right now, it seems to be addressed to consumers, and at $10 a month, that's $120 a year. I think it's a bit high. If that would have been a $20 or $35 a year subscription, it would make a lot more sense. I don't think that computing wise it requires that much. So I do think there's a profit to make at $35 a year, right? Or 36. Let's make it divided by 12. But yeah, it's an interesting solution, and definitely want to keep an eye on going forward to see where this goes and how this grows.
Mm.
I've been using it for now probably 3 weeks. It's very stable. I think they had an outage for a few hours. It was communicated clearly at the beginning of the outage and the end of the outage within the chat app, right? It gave you a status. So, and the outage was with only one service. So it was like, we have an issue, we're solving it, it was solved. They have a very active support staff. Indicates, give them a try.
Can you take a single, say you have several friends on different services, can you send a single message to those people where it puts one on Twitter,
No.
one on Signal, one on?
No, it doesn't seem that exists. I'm pretty sure they are planning on something like this.
That would be
eventually.
amazing.
But I can tell you what you can do. You can write the message that you're creating, right? And you can
Copy paste.
you can just click forward, and you can forward it within the app to another.
That's good too.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. So it's very the workflow works very well. Very easy to pass information back and forth. And one of the things that might eventually happen is that they'll use the Matrix infrastructure to facilitate a group chat. It can also handle your SMS, at least on Android, your SMS text. So you'll have this single client on your desktop that basically is the communication hub that is required. One of the questions I've asked them is, okay, you provide all of these different channels that I can use. Can you consolidate the contacts, right? Let's say I have Spence on Signal and WhatsApp and Telegram. Can I have him as a single contact and just choose where to send that in. So that doesn't exist yet, but that's definitely something they are planning. So, and it makes total sense. I don't know if you guys remembered. I think I mentioned it in the I'm now that I'm saying it, I'm pretty sure I talked about this at brief the last show. But this reminds me of the Palm Pre, where it was their WebOS communication module, which was exactly this. This was the idea. It was the beginning of it. They saw the problem, but they didn't survive to fix the problem, although they had a very novel solution. So this is one company that I think is trying to address this correctly. Now, yes, you can try using something like Pigeon, or you can try hosting your own Matrix server and trying to find some of the connectors exist in the open source community. Not all of the ones they're using. But the thing is, the difference here is once you set up the connections, they are associated with that account that was created and encrypted for you on their services. It means basically for any other device you're ever going to use, you don't really need to reconfigure those clients again, right? Just need to hook up once to your Beeper account, and it's already connected to all of the services that you are connected to. So that's another nice touch. They have a lot of details on the philosophy behind it and all that on their blog. They have like 4 or 5 posts total on the blog, so it's not like a hard read. Worth taking a look.
All right.
I just want to mention one quick thing I noticed. You remember the Volkswagen scandal with the testing of the diesel vehicles?
Yeah.
How they basically taught the car, the electronic control module to detect when it was going into test mode, like EPA test mode, in order to change the outcome of the emissions. Yeah, they got caught on it. They got, basically had to pay a gigantic fine. They were cheating. Well, guess what Samsung is doing?
Yeah.
They found it on 2 televisions, and they might find it on more. When they do benchmarks, people will put up test patterns, and they taught the OS on the TV to automatically make changes so that it passes the test. It makes it look better. Unbelievable.
Yep.
No, very believable. Why unbelievable? Maximizing profits, man.
Absolutely.
Maximizing profits.
Yep.
Recognize a reviewer is running a test pad, and the television sets are automatically tested, calibrated, and reviewed. Oh my gosh. It's just amazing.
So, Gal, Sonos. Sonos, did you buy something from them lately?
Lately, no, but I have a bunch.
Sonos has confirmed that customers who received extra unordered devices as a result of recent software glitch don't need to return the speakers.
Damn, why didn't I order?
Sonos does not require the return of extra equipment and respect the decision of each impacted customer, said spokesperson. We have and will continue to be in full compliance with FTC requirements. A summary of the Federal Trade Commission requirements are outlined on the U.S. agency's websites, and that's interesting. You never have to pay for things you get but didn't order. That's by law. That's by law. The website reads, you also don't have to return unordered merchandise. You're legally entitled to keep it as a free gift. The software glitch came to light after Sonos customers started receiving anywhere from 2 to 5 extra devices after placing an order for just one. In some cases, they have even been charged for these unwanted extras. One particularly extreme example saw a customer receive around 30 shipments from Sonos containing roughly $15,000 worth of audio gear. Sonos has been approaching affected customers to offer them refunds where necessary and supplying them with shipping labels to return the extra devices that were sent in error. So I don't know if what the FTC is saying there that you don't have to return is if you don't have to return and pay for the shipping. Maybe if the company sends in you
No, you don't have to return.
Well,
you can return if
Yeah.
you want, but you don't have to.
it's interesting. So they had
Look, it
a,
all depends to which church you go and how bad the pastor is going to make you feel about it. Come on.
yeah. But it's
There are those
interesting.
who will keep it and there are those who will not. But by law, they are not
Yeah.
required to because the mistake is not on their end.
Yeah.
I wonder what happens with those who were charged extra.
Oh,
right?
they give
Because-
them. They said that they offer them
Of
refund.
course, they'll offer.
Yeah.
The real question is, will they offer
Will
a
they-
refund after returning? Because I think that by law, right, they're entitled to say you'll get a refund after you return them. So,
Yeah.
but it's interesting, yeah. Damn, I didn't know about this. Now I feel bad. I wasn't paying attention probably to my slick deals.
Obviously, you're not going to the right church.
Obviously.
All right. And Amazon is planning to offer more than 30 free games to Amazon Prime subscribers as part of its Prime Day festivities. Beginning June 21st, ahead of Prime Day, Amazon will make more than 25 games available to claim for free, including Metal Slug 2 and 2 King of the Fighters titles. During the actual Prime Day event, which takes place July 12th and 13th, Amazon will offer some bigger titles. Perhaps the most notable is Mass Effect Legendary Edition, a remastered version of BioWare's acclaimed sci-fi RPG trilogy. But Amazon Prime subscribers will also be able to claim 2 racing games, Grid Legends and Need for Speed Heat, as well as 3 Star Wars games. Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, and Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and Star Wars Republic Commando. So these are all free. In addition to free games, Amazon will also be offering the Luna controller for its Luna cloud gaming service for $39.99, a $30 discount off the controller's usual $69.99 price. The promotion will be available from June 21st at 1 a.m. Eastern until July 13th. So that's
I wonder
interesting,
if
but
it'll
you have to be
all at once or it'll be one by one.
a what?
I wonder if it'll be all at
Oh.
once, like these are free, or every hour or something it will
Yeah, I don't know.
change.
Yeah, I have no idea. But it's interesting. That's for Prime users. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who are into these games that would say, "Hey, I'll pay the 120 Prime, and then I can get
Yeah,
these."
there are
and then-
some. Yeah, it sounds.
Yeah.
So Prime Day free games. Let's see if I can find this page. Yeah, don't wait for me. I'll
No,
try
I'm
to
not.
find it,
I'm
and if I
looking
find it, I'll
for-
paste it in the chat.
I have one more story here, and it's almost time anyway. Elon Musk told Twitter employees on Thursday that the company needs to become more like WeChat and TikTok if it wants to achieve his goal of hitting 1 billion users. When asked how Twitter would grow its user base and increase engagement, Musk explained that the app should offer more utility and make sure people are very entertained and informed. This is according to employees who heard the remarks during his first internal all hands. He drew a comparison to WeChat, the super app in China that mixes social media with payments, games, and even ride hailing. There's no WeChat equivalent outside of China, Musk said after dialing in 10 minutes late to the virtual meeting via his phone camera. You basically live on WeChat in China. If we can recreate that with Twitter, will be a great success. Can you imagine everybody living on Twitter? That's
No.
I mean, that's exactly WhatsApp in most of the world, right?
Yeah.
So it's just talking about creating a competitor for WhatsApp. I mean, best of luck. I doubt that will happen with Twitter, but if he can make it work, maybe it'll be a good thing. Maybe it will.
Yeah. We'll see.
I don't know.
Well, maybe at least it won't have the Chinese hooks into it like TikTok has.
We'll have to wait and see if it even. Anyway, did you find what the thing about the game, the free games?
I found a link which doesn't work, so I'm trying. I find a link directly to the Amazon site. The search engine shows the exact text that you mentioned, but when I go to Amazon, it just kicks me to the Prime page on Amazon. I don't know why.
Huh. All right. Well, we'll talk about it next time, maybe.
Yep.
All right, and it's that time of day. Again, anything else anybody wants to add?
I would like to add 5 plus 6.
Okay. Do you need answer?
No, I don't need an answer.
Okay.
42.
That's it.
56.
The answer is always 42.
56. All right. Well, thanks, Spence. And thank you, Gal. And again, happy Father's Day to everybody. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie and Donna, Dina, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov and Yael. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. And again, remember, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., Nick is on Wilmington's 980 The Wave and 107.9 FM. You can tell your Echo device to play 980 The Wave. Or you can go to recordings at nickcraig.com. And on Tuesdays, 7 p.m., Nick and Brian do the Infection Podcast, which is survival game related and game news, gaming, on Twitch. So 7 p.m. Tuesday evening, twitch.tv/Infection Podcast. Other than that, we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.